Hi, everybody. I'm Pratibha Agarwal. I'm here live to answer your immigration questions. If you've never joined me before, I'm an immigration attorney. I am based right outside of Washington, D.C. in Arlington, Virginia. Our clients, however, are all throughout the United States. So no matter where in the U.S. you are, our firm can help you with your immigration case. We do handle pretty much all kinds of immigration. And here today is an opportunity for you to ask whatever immigration questions you have that you want to kind of test out, you want to talk to a lawyer about, you're unsure. Immigration is complicated, guys. Immigration is super, super complicated, and it's not easy to understand the forms unless you're kind of familiar with the terms and whatnot. So you might have some questions. I'm an immigration lawyer. I can help clients no matter where they're located. So if you want to ask me right now, I'm going to excuse me. I can help you answer anything that I can kind of answer. Just as a heads up, though, that the stuff that we talk about here today, the questions and the answers that I give here today are considered kind of not attorney advice. It's just general information. If you want to have a confidential consultation with us, call our office. We're at 703-348-1663. Okay, and I see here that I forgot on Facebook to put our little banner up with our phone number. So if you don't follow us already on Facebook and TikTok, we have the same handle on both. It's at Agarwal Immigration on Facebook and on TikTok. All right. The question I always start off with a question that comes up often in our case. But listen, you can put in your questions too while I'm chatting. I'm going to go through them and I will answer as many as I can. Here again, I'm an immigration attorney. Feel free to type your little questions in. No matter what kind of immigration questions we handle, both employer cases, employment-based cases, and things for individuals, humanitarian cases as well. All right. Okay, so the question that I want to start off with today, hi, Yethin, nice to see you. I'll get to your question in just a second. So the thing that I want to start off with today is about VAWA I-360 petitions, right? So some people, you might be familiar with them, but these are for people that are married to a U.S. citizen or a green card holder, and they are victims of abuse. And again, this abuse can kind of span the gamut. It does not have to be physical abuse. It can be emotional abuse. It can be controlling behavior on the part of your spouse. Many of our clients have their spouse threatening deportation whenever they get into a fight, refusing to help with the green card. It can take various forms, and of course, each case is different. Each person's relationship with their spouse is different. But these are kind of some of the things that do come up in our VAWA I-360 cases. So basically, they're people, they may have entered illegally, they may have lost their status now, but they're married to a U.S. citizen or green card holder who's not going to help them file for their green card. And in some cases also, if you're interested or if you know someone that this might apply to, the person is divorced. So as long as the divorce occurs within 2 years of us filing the application, we can still file a VAWA application. So the question that I want to talk about today is, some people are reluctant, and I do these consultations so often, and they ask, I don't want to get my spouse in trouble. I don't want to get my U.S. citizen or green card holder spouse in trouble. They are abusive, but we have kids together. We have a history together. I don't want them to get arrested. Are they going to get arrested if I file this application? So you really can file without anyone really ever knowing other than us, right? So you're going to be talking to us. We draft the application, we submit it to the government, but they are not calling your spouse. They are not calling the police. So the likelihood of your spouse getting arrested is zero. This is a confidential application. The USCIS treats it very, very confidentially. All we ask of you is you be honest in your application. You give us as much information as you can, but everything that you tell us, of course, has to be truthful. But really, it's about abuse. It can be physical, but not always physical. Many times, most of the time, to be honest, with the ones we file, are emotional abuse. So things like name calling, controlling behavior, all of those types of things that are harmful to you as an individual, as someone who entered the marriage, thinking that it was going to be in good faith, but then you're made to be a servant in your own home. You're made to give all your money over to your spouse. There are all of these different types of situations. So the answer to my question here is that no, your spouse will not get arrested, and that's not something you should be concerned with if you do want to file a VAWA I-360 petition. Okay. All right. I hope that was helpful. So Yethin says, hello, how are you? I am doing well, Yethin. Nice to see you. He says, can people travel outside of the USA on a U visa for 28 days? So what we want to do is we want to get to a point with the U visa. What I would do is apply once we get to the green card portion. So once you're on a U visa for a certain amount of time and we apply for a green card, you can apply for a travel permit. It's called advanced parole application. That's what I would suggest. I probably would not travel outside of the country on a U visa. In fact, many of our VAWA applicants too, the ones that I was just talking about, we do have travel authorization. There are certain types that I'm very conservative about in terms of travel. Even though, like, for example, people on TPS can travel can get request travel authorization and go back and visit their home country, or even a different country if there's an emergency. But, I really don't recommend it. So I don't recommend it, even though, sometimes it might be available to you unless there's some kind of emergency. But if you have questions about a U visa, this is for victims of crime or people that have witnessed a crime and are working with the police. I would recommend waiting until you have a green card on file and that you have the U visa issued, because a lot of it also is there's a wait time for a U visa to be available. Okay. If you want to call us about your case, you can call us at 703-348-1663. All right, here I have a bunch of questions here. Hi, Davy, how are you? She says, how much is for the N600? I'm not sure what the filing fee is for the N600, but you can Google. The N600 is a certificate of citizenship application. I actually think it's several $100s. We don't do them very often as a firm, but I have done them in the past. Pretty much you can Google filing fees for anything, and USCIS website lists the current filing fees. So just make sure that you check that and see if it changes once in a while. Like, it goes up usually every few months, maybe every couple of years sometimes. But go ahead and check that before you file anything. So it's on the USCIS website. If you Google N600, it'll tell you the filing fee right there. Okay. Cam Singh says, how long does it take to file a family visa? Hi, how are you? How long does it take to file? Well, it depends, right? So it depends on what kind of family-based green card or visa that you're filing for. If it's a tourist visa for your family abroad to come and visit you, that's very fast, but they're only allowed to be in the country for 6 months maximum, and they have to return to their home country. If, however, you're applying for a green card for a spouse, for example, it can take, about 2 years if they're abroad. It can take about 2 years for that whole process to go through. If, for example, they're here in the U.S., it can be a little bit faster. So there's different situations, and the timeline depends on where the person is located, what their relationship to you is, and which country they're from, because certain countries have wait lists. So it's hard to say. But if you want to call us for a consultation on a green card, we can help you with that. We are at 703-348-1663. Okay. Hi, Eleanor. Nice to see you. Eleanor says, if you're divorced, can you still file a VAWA? Yes. So if you're married to a U.S. citizen or a green card holder, you can file a VAWA based on abuse. So it's a green card application based on abuse. Or you might qualify for a green card, I should say. It can get a little bit complicated sometimes. But if you're divorced and your divorce is less than 2 years, you can file a VAWA application as well. And we've done this for a few people too. And I actually just had a consultation today with somebody that is in the process of divorce, not finalized yet, and was asking about filing a green card application because their spouse just became a green card holder and refuses to include them on that green card application. They wanted to see if they might qualify for VAWA based on their situation. So again, if you're married to a U.S. citizen or a green card holder, or if your divorce is less than 2 years from the time we apply, then we can apply. So divorced people, separated people, people that don't even live with their spouse might qualify for this VAWA application, which would essentially get you a work permit in about 6 to 8 months and a green card in about 2 to 2.5 years. Okay, if you want to call us, we can talk to you about the process and everything that's involved. And you can reach me at 703-348-1663. Hi, I'm Takor85. I just filed my brief for an appeal. How much time is it going to take to get a decision? It could take a year or two. It can take a little while. So I hope it goes fast for you. Sometimes it's going fast. Even with our VAWA applications, we just got one approved in 6 months, which is pretty fast. We just got one approved in 6 months. But normal time frame is taking a year and a half. So it depends. I can't really say, but if I were to advise someone, it can take about a year or so. Okay. If we can apply today for an I-360, how much time will it take to get work authorization? Right. So an I-360, again, is the VAWA application. It's the thing that I'm talking about right now. It's for spouses of U.S. citizens or green card holders that are victims of abuse, that are filing on their own without the help of their spouse for essentially a petition. They want deferred action. I mean, I'm not going to go into all those details, but eventually they're looking to get a green card, and we apply to get a green card for them on their own because they are victims of abuse and are married to U.S. citizens or green card holders. That is that is mainly the type of client that we file for. So that's kind of their profile. So when we file, we usually also are able to file for work authorization while the green card application is pending. So the green card application, the green card interview itself can take about 2 years or so to get scheduled, right? So the whole process can take about 2 years, but this is the important part. But you can get work authorization, right? You can get work authorization in about 6 months. So 6 to 8 months, you can get work authorization for a VAWA I-360 application. Okay, so that means that while your green card application is pending, you can work for anybody in the U.S. You have authorization to work legally for anybody in the U.S. And you have a social security number that you can apply for. And so you pretty much, it frees you up quite a bit while you're waiting for that green card interview. Okay, and that's about 6 months after we apply. So if we apply today, think about it, I guess, what's the date today? I think, end of November. So you're thinking about March or April, you might have work authorization. Okay, and sometimes it's even taking a faster time. Did you have a Europe package? Someone is asking. I'm not sure what that means. We only handle U.S. immigration. So if you're in Europe and you're coming in, we can help you with a tourist visa. We can help you with learning about ESTA and the different requirements. We don't have any package about going to Europe because that's not U.S. immigration. So we really help people come to the U.S. and stay in the U.S. Okay. You're welcome. Tucker says, thanks so much. You're welcome. If we can help you with the VAWA application, feel free to give us a call. Feel free to give us a call at 703-348-1663. The other thing I want to talk about is a question. Oh, sorry. I have another question. Hi, Saviol. Nice to see you. So Saviol says, hello, if someone has some evidence to prove that he was abused before he got his first permanent residence for 2 years, in case his or her partner refuses to file the next application for 10 years, can he still use those evidences against the abuser? Well, that's a really good question. So I'm going to rephrase it a little bit, which I think might be easier to process for some folks here. So essentially, Saviol St. Jean is asking, essentially, he has a 2-year, I'm assuming this is you, maybe it's a friend, but if someone has a 2-year green card, so essentially when you get married, and if your marriage is less than 2 years at the time that your green card is approved, you will get a 2-year conditional green card. So the conditional green card, it means that you can you pretty much can live like a green card holder, but at the end of 2 years, you have to show that you're still married. Your marriage was not just for immigration purposes, and you and your spouse have to go together to that interview with USCIS. And you have to show them that you're still married and that you weren't married just for immigration purposes. So they'll ask you questions. They might ask you questions separately. Just depends on the interview. But you'll basically have to prove to the officer that your marriage was not just for immigration purposes. That that you have joint finances. That's the big one, and whatnot. Okay. So that's the normal process. If you convince the USCIS officer of this, you'll get a 10-year permanent green card. So it's a permanent 10-year green card, and you can renew that, or after 3 years or 5 years if you're married to a U.S. citizen or someone else, or you got it through a green card holder, you can apply for citizenship and become a citizen. So I don't actually see tons of people that stay on a green card for more than 10 years. Usually whenever they become eligible to apply for citizenship, they will apply for their citizenship. Okay, so Saviol is asking if there was abuse, and let's say your spouse is not going to help you get that 10-year green card, you can still apply to remove those conditions on your own based on the abuse in the marriage, right? And you don't need proof beyond, your statements, your declaration, explaining what happened, the different kinds of ways your spouse hurt you. Maybe your spouse was unfaithful. Maybe your spouse is incredibly controlling, and they want your passwords to everything. I'm just giving you some examples that we see. They want your passwords. They don't want you to have female friends or male friends on your social media. They're jealous. They accuse you of cheating when you're not cheating. They sabotage your relationships. They might call your friends and start yelling at them. We've seen all sorts of things. And so all of that can be used for you to go yourself without your spouse to get that 10-year green card. So I know Saviol is saying he has proof of the abuse. It's fine. If we have proof, we can submit it. But even if you don't have physical proof, which a lot of people don't have, a lot of people haven't been able to save text messages or whatnot, it's still okay. You can apply for that 10-year green card on your own without your spouse. Okay? So that's possible if there is abuse. So call us if you are in that situation. If you want to have a consultation, you can reach us at 703-348-1663. Ariane is saying, my brother is living in Guyana and wants to visit the U.S., but he's never successful at the interview. That's a really good question. Actually, I had it on my list to bring up today because it's something that comes up a lot in my practice. So how do you qualify for a tourist visa? So people are asking this all the time. How do you qualify for a tourist visa? Sometimes people come to us and they've been denied so many times. Sometimes, actually, we worked with someone who was denied 6 times before she worked with us, right? She was denied 6 times for a tourist visa before she worked with us. And the 7th time we prepped her for the interview and she got it. She was pregnant, and she actually, she disclosed everything. She was visibly pregnant at the embassy, and she came in, she had her baby here in the U.S., and so her baby is a U.S. citizen. But anyway, she was denied so many times, and we were able to help her get approved. So let me tell you what is important for a tourist visa. So the main thing to qualify for a tourist visa is showing the government at the interview that you have an intent to return back to your home country, that you do not plan on overstaying. And the person that I'm talking about right now, she did return to her home country. Okay, she did not overstay. So you have to show the government that you do not plan to overstay. And the way you can do that is by showing some very strong ties to your home country. Very strong ties to your home country. Bringing documents, and I can give you things like, oh, I'm going to be in a wedding, I'm getting married, or I'm a bridesmaid in a wedding, and this is the invitation to that wedding, or I plan to attend this. I have a trip planned from my home country, in whatever 6 months from now. I need to be back here to take this trip, but here's my itinerary. You have a job in your home country, so letters from your employer. If you own property, if you have bank accounts, anything to show your strong ties to your home country. So bringing the right evidence is really important to qualify for a tourist visa. And again, I keep saying this, and I feel the need to say it over and over again. Be truthful, because a lot of times people feel like, oh, I need to put on this story or put on this way of being. You really don't. Just be honest. Be honest. Provide the answers that are true, but also that will help you qualify for that immigration benefit, right? So a lot of it is also when you answer questions to highlight the parts that show that you're planning to return to your home country, right? So for example, what if they say, do you want to get a green card or live in the US forever? Some people might say, I don't know. I mean, I haven't made that decision. Or maybe, yeah, that would be great. Right? No, that's not what they're looking for. They don't want any indication of you wanting to overstay your visa. Right? So the thing you can highlight at this point are things like, now, I'm going to visit. I plan to be there for 3 weeks. I have a round trip ticket here. You can see on my round trip ticket, my plan is to be there until X, Y, and Z. Hi, Mohammed from New Hampshire. He says, good evening. I'm Mohammed from New Hampshire. Hi, thank you for joining. If you have immigration questions, go ahead and put them in, and I'm happy to answer them. So essentially, I think with a tourist visa, it's important to bring the proper documentation to tying you to your home country, but also to know what to highlight in your responses to the government when you're speaking with them at the interview, because what they're looking for are people that are going to overstay, right? So everything that you say to them, it's very important that you highlight the aspects that show that you're not going to overstay your stay in the US. So if you have that round trip ticket, with the return date already purchased, you have that itinerary, bring that up as much as you can. Anytime a question comes up, do you plan to stay? What are you going to do when you come back? Where are you going to live? Anything like that. You have a round trip ticket back, highlight that. It's only going to help you. Okay. I hope that helps, Aryan. I hope your brother can visit you. Okay, so Simone is saying, how long after submitting all documents to the NVC will the NVC take to get an interview date? You're welcome. Marian says, thank you. You're welcome. How long will it take to get an interview date? Usually it takes about 6 months. I'm going to tell you 6 months usually, but it depends on the embassy. Because remember, once you submit all the documents to the National Visa Center, this is for people who are sponsoring green cards for their family members, perhaps, that are abroad, that are not in the US. So the National Visa Center is a document collection center. They collect all the documents. And once they have everything, they will transfer your case over to the embassy, where that person will go to have their visa interview. Okay, so once they do that, once they say, yes, we have everything we need, now we're transferring your case to the embassy, it usually takes, I would say, about 6 months. It could take longer. You know why, though? Because of COVID. COVID has really complicated things. That's why it's taking, so much longer now, because embassies are understaffed. Many embassies are closed because of COVID. So it kind of depends on where they're looking to get the interview and what the state of that country is, if the embassy is even open, if it's open normal hours, if they're only doing interviews for certain green card applications. So check the embassy website. If we can help you, call us. We're at 703-348-1663. All right. Okay. Mohammed's question is, what are the fastest ways to get a green card? I think there are many ways to get a green card, but one of the fastest ways is marriage-based, right? So it's marriage-based, but of course, a real marriage, not just for immigration purposes. Okay. Real marriage, not just for immigration purposes. If that person is already in the US, if you're married to a US citizen, and you are in the US, that is the fastest way probably to get a green card. But again, it is not going to be fast unless it's a truthful marriage in good faith, because you will get delayed and you might be denied from ever even getting a green card if you're, if you're being fraudulent in or using a false marriage. Okay, so do not lie to the government. The penalties, the consequences are really, really severe, but you might qualify and you want to do it legally, and we can help you do it legally. If you qualify, call us for a consultation. We can find you a way. If there is one, we do a very thorough screening process to see how we might be able to help you get status in the US. Okay, we're at 703-348-1663. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me. It's wonderful to see you. I'm sorry I took a little hiatus last week. Went on vacation with my family. I am back here in the office working lots of hours. So call us. I'm here and available for consultation this week if you would like. And I hope to see some of you at a consultation. Again, if you haven't listened to us before, we do our consultations by phone or by Zoom. Again, I'm an immigration attorney. My name is Pratibha Agarwal, and I'm based in Arlington, Virginia, but my clients are all throughout the United States. So they're all throughout the United States. And so we can help you no matter where you are. Our consultations are done by Zoom or by phone based on your preference. And some of our friends, actually tomorrow morning, I have someone visiting me in person in the office. So some of our folks that are here will also show up in person, or they schedule something in person to have an in-person consultation. And I'm happy to do that as well. Our office is open and ready to see folks that want to come in person. Okay. Ravi is asking, do you speak Hindi? Ravi, my Hindi is not so great, but I can understand Hindi fairly well. So if you want to speak in Hindi, then I can usually understand what you're saying and respond in English. But if you want to bring a translator, many of our clients that speak Hindi will bring a translator. We can arrange for one for you as well. We don't have anyone on staff that speaks Hindi, but we do have people that speak different other languages. So we can accommodate a lot of people. But with Hindi, we can, of course, contract to bring in a translator and have one available for you, or you can bring your own translator to the consultation. All right. Okay, guys. Great to see you. Have a wonderful evening, and I will talk to you soon. All right. Take care and call us for a consult, 703-348-1663. Bye.